Makes Terrence Crawford so great.
I mean, he's a good fighter, man. What Terrence Crawford is a phenomenal athlete, phenomenal athleticism. That's what it is. He's athleticism, but athleticism is always fleeting. Remember that athleticism is fleeting, and when you get to a certain point, whatever age it is, I don't know what it is. Look at the other fighter that loves him to death. He talks about him. You know that guy? What's his name?
Tim Bradley.
Used to be a champ.
Tim Bradley?
No. Undisputed champ. He talks about Errol like he's hard. No. The other one.
Tim Bradley?
Heavier.
He used to be undisputed.
There we go.
Roy Jones.
Oh.
Phenomenal athlete, right? Athleticism left.
But, I mean, that's a fair point. But I think usually when people talk about Crawford, the first thing they mention is IQ as opposed to...
Hey, man, listen, man. I'm telling you what I see.
You know, Bud moved up into this division, and he struggled to get these big names. He's finally got Sean Porter under his belt. He's trying to get the Spence fight so that he can solidify his legacy, right? Both fighters want to solidify their legacy, you know, regardless if I'm not in the picture. You know, it's a tremendous fight. But Spence, because he's been a great potential matchup for me my whole career, I've monitored him more, right? And what I haven't seen Spence face is what I believe Crawford and myself bring to the table, which is obviously somebody who has the boxing IQ of that Olympic pedigree, you know. And then besides that, it's the athleticism, you know. He hasn't fought athletic, crafty, you know, fast twitch. You know, I don't know enough of Crawford's power. We've seen him do damage. I still consider Spence the bigger puncher. I consider him the bigger man. I consider him the bigger puncher, right? Mm-hmm. But all it takes is the right punch to finish the fight, not the biggest punch, right? So the athleticism, seeing Spence fight a Crawford, seeing Spence fight a Thurman is just a test that he's truly never been up against.
How clearly do you remember that amateur fight? Because a lot of guys remember fighting in the amateurs, but is that one of the fights that you kind of remember exactly how it went, or is it a little foggy? How do you remember it?
I remember a lot of my fights, most all of them. I remember he was up like 3 or 4 points in the first round right away, and after that he just ran around the whole time. It's amateurs, the point system worked for him. At the end of the fight, he beat me like, I don't know, like 19 to like 11 or some crazy, like big difference. We made a mistake of following him. We fell into his game plan. It was a 3 or 4 round fight, so very easily outpointed me.
Ladies and gents, you know it's the Cleanup Gang, and I don't miss nothing at all. Hold on, let me turn on the AC real quick, because I'm on fire. Y'all know I'm about to go off, right? So, y'all probably wondering why Mr. Tokyo Sports TV did you just play those 3 clips, right, of Derrick James, Keith Thurman, and Mikey Garcia? Because this is the same exact reason why Terrence Bud Crawford has been avoided for so long, right? That's why when Derrick James is asked about Terrence Bud Crawford, the first thing that he says is Terrence Bud Crawford athleticism, because he knows and he's well aware that Errol Spence Jr. never had to dealt with an opponent that brings so much athleticism to the table, right? And if you pay attention to that interview, Derrick James was telling you that Terrence Bud Crawford is just athletic. And what the interviewer said, well, that's a fair point. But when people talk about Terrence Bud Crawford, they talk about IQ. What did Keith Thurman say? Errol Spence Jr. never had to deal with a fighter that is that athletic and that has that much IQ in Terrence Bud Crawford, right? So y'all got to use logics, right? If Keith Thurman been ducking Errol Spence Jr., right? And he just came out and basically said that Errol Spence Jr. never faced a fighter like Terrence Bud Crawford, right? Now y'all see why Keith Thurman been so dismissive of Terrence Bud Crawford, right? Because it's not only Errol Spence Jr. never seen a fighter like, or never faced a fighter like Terrence Bud Crawford. Keith Thurman himself never faced a fighter like Terrence Bud Crawford, right? So all the dismissing Keith Thurman has been doing when it came to Terrence Bud Crawford, it was because of fear, right? When Derrick James is asked about Terrence Bud Crawford and he just, Terrence Bud Crawford is just athletic, it's because he knows that Errol Spence Jr. struggle, and Errol Spence Jr. will struggle with a athletic fighter like Terrence Bud Crawford. Because y'all gotta remember, bro, Sean Porter was athletic, right? But Sean Porter didn't have the level of IQ as a Terrence Bud Crawford. That gave Errol Spence Jr. problems when he had to face an athletic Sean Porter, right? If Sean Porter was had a higher IQ, Sean Porter would have definitely beat the fuck out of Errol Spence Jr., right? Y'all seen Mikey Garcia, right? And it all makes sense now. Mikey Garcia said Terrence Bud Crawford beat him in the amateurs, right? Because Terrence Bud Crawford and the amateurs was based off points, and Terrence Bud Crawford basically ran around the ring, right? That is a next code word for sweet science. Mikey Garcia wasn't able to corner the ring, and Terrence Bud Crawford was picking Mikey Garcia apart. So you see the reason why these guys don't fight Terrence Bud Crawford, right? It's because this man is athletic and his IQ is through the motherfucking roof. So they don't want to have nothing to do with Terrence Bud Crawford. That's why Derrick James always point out Terrence Bud Crawford athleticism when he's asked about Terrence Bud Crawford, because he's well aware that Errol Spence Jr. never had to deal with a fighter like that in his motherfucking life. Now, if Derrick James only believed Terrence Bud Crawford have athleticism, why did Derrick James said this in this interview?
You know what, though? I think that Terrence Crawford is so athletic.
Wow.
That's his greatest strength is athleticism and his ability to find shots, right? I saw like when he caught the guy with a punch, Amir Khan in the first round, but it was like, but that was all.
Crawford, because once Crawford starts getting his jab landing, then he's able to set up his combinations. Oh, he scores a knockdown!
Look, when I was in the ring with him, even though towards after the 1-2 rounds, I started getting my rhythm, but I have to say, probably one of the best fighters I've ever faced, honestly. And I've faced the likes of Canelo, and I was at boxing fighters like him. Every fight I've lost previously was when I was up on points. And obviously, I've got caught with a good shot and got knocked out, whatever. But with Crawford, his timing was so on point. I mean, like, what a great fight he was, technician. And I'll always, look, I'm not a hater in any way. Look, even though the fight went the way it did, but I just think his timing was amazing. And just everything about the game plan he had for the fight. I mean, he's a brilliant fighter. You cannot take that away from him. And if he was to fight any welterweight, being Manny Pacquiao, being Errol Spence, being even Floyd Mayweather, I think Crawford would beat a lot of them, maybe all of them. Even and the only fight I would say for him would be a good fight technically would be someone like Mayweather. But I really think he would beat Mayweather.
So you guys see where I'm going with this, right? So you guys heard Derrick James in the first video that I played. He said that Terrence Bud Crawford only have athleticism, right? That's what he said, right? But in the next video, he said that Terrence Bud Crawford's best attributes is his athleticism and his ability to place punches. Now, I don't got to be a genius to figure this out, right? If you have an ability to place punches, that has to be in play of IQ, right? You using your IQ, right? So in that video where he said that Terrence Bud Crawford's ability to place punches, that's one of his best attributes. He mentioned when Terrence Bud Crawford display, right, using his IQ against Amir Khan, right? And you guys heard what Amir Khan said about Terrence Bud Crawford, right? In all his fights, right? He fought Canelo Alvarez. He fought a lot of great fighters, and he was up during those rounds. But there was something different about Terrence Bud Crawford. His timing and everything about Terrence Bud Crawford was just so different. He went as far as, and this is what I believe. I've been saying this a lot, and Mayweather fans, y'all get mad. Oh, y'all won. I believe Terrence Bud Crawford beat Mayweather. I believe Terrence Bud Crawford hurt Mayweather because Mayweather is not He's not accustomed to fighting fighters that think, bro. Fighters that think and it's very athletic give Floyd Money Mayweather this problem, right? They do. Zab Judah gave Floyd Money Mayweather this problem in like the first 3-4 rounds, bro. You feel me? And Zab Judah is not. He is not a caliber fighter of Terrence Bud Crawford, bro. Zab Judah is very great. I give him that. But he ain't no Terrence Bud Crawford, bro. So this is all the reasons why guys avoid Terrence Bud Crawford, bro. His IQ is beyond me, bro. I really don't understand it. I don't understand how somebody could just calculate all your movements and just stop you. He calculate all your movement and just stop you, bro. So Amir Khan, when he said he didn't quit, he quit. He quit. He realized that, hell no, bro. I'm not even up in this fight. I got dropped already. You feel me? This nigga could box his ass off. His IQ, his timing. There's no way I'm going to be able to deal with that. So Amir Khan quit, right? He quit. And that's the reason why Derrick James is so afraid of Terrence Bud Crawford. So that's why he always highlights one of his best attributes to try to downplay it, right? And try to make it look like it's nothing because he knows that's Errol Spence Jr.'s kryptonite, bro. He knows that's Errol Spence Jr.'s kryptonite. Nobody can't figure out Terrence Bud Crawford, bro. Look at how Sean Porter talk about Terrence Bud Crawford.
Who has been in the ring with every welterweight of consequence, every welterweight champion of this era. Where do you place Terrence Crawford?
I knew you'd ask who's the best out of everybody I've been in the ring with. There's no doubt that man, I think, hit me more than anybody I've been in the ring with. He was on point, A through Z. The competitor in me, man, won't stop looking at him, wanting to fight him again. He's that good that I want to do it again. Congratulations, but
what makes him special, different?
You know what? He's got it. And I said that multiple times in interviews, inside and outside of the ring. He just has that, you know, on Jerry Maguire, the Quan. That's what he's got. So good for him.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's what you call a boogeyman. Like I said, my mom used to always say to me, you fear what you don't know. Nobody knows what makes Terrence Bud Crawford great. Like they can't fucking figure it out. Like nobody could figure it out. Nigga could say what make Mayweather great, his defensive ability and his ability to play shots. But what makes Terrence Bud Crawford great is so much fucking things. You can't even fucking think about it, bro. And that's what niggas gotta understand. If y'all think that Errol Spence Jr. and fucking Derrick James hasn't realized that by now, bro. If you think these legends are just choosing Terrence Bud Crawford because they hate Errol Spence Jr. for no reason, y'all niggas hit your head on something hard. Terrence Bud Crawford is very special, bro. There's something about this man, and I watch him, and like I said before, bro, Mayweather was my favorite fighter of all time, bro. He was. And I choose Terrence Bud Crawford to beat Floyd Money Mayweather, bro. I choose him to beat Mayweather, bro. And this is not no dick riding shit. I choose him to beat Mayweather because I don't know what makes this nigga so great, bro. I watch this nigga, and it's like this nigga do so much in the motherfucking ring. It's like, yo, bro, what does he do best, bro? It's like, how the fuck is Errol Spence Jr. gonna figure that out, bro? How is he gonna figure that out, bro? There's no way for him to figure that out, bro. The pressure, they say pressure busts pipes. Pressure's gonna bust his pipes, nigga. It's gonna bust his pipes. You feel me? So y'all see the reason why Terrence Bud Crawford is the most avoided fighter. They got niggas saying that he will beat Mayweather. He's not the only nigga that said that. Freddie Roach said that shit too. Freddie Roach said the same shit too. You feel me? So this is what makes Terrence Bud Crawford the most avoided fighter in boxing history, bro. Apart from like a Mike Tyson in his prime, nobody wants to see Terrence Bud Crawford, bro. Nobody wants to see Terrence Bud Crawford, bro. That's why Eddie Hearn is on air saying this shit.
I think that as well, people still believe that Conor Benn is beatable.
Whereas they don't necessarily think that Terrence Crawford is beatable yet. It's even harder to get those fights.
Whereas they don't believe Terrence Bud Crawford is beatable. This is why the nut riders and the aerosexuals, right, and Derrick James, stupid ass face, could say shit like, oh, Terrence Bud Crawford hasn't fought nobody in Terrence Bud Crawford's resume. This is the reason why his resume may look shaky, because motherfuckers run from him, right? And his resume looks shaky, but then you could say that his resume is still way better than Errol Spence Jr.'s resume. Way better than Errol Spence Jr.'s resume. His resume probably don't look like Mayweather's resume because motherfuckers motherfuckers was willing to go in there with Mayweather because Mayweather wasn't scary. But Terrence Crawford is fucking scary. They do not know how to defeat that man, bro. They do not know how to defeat that man. But y'all see what I got for y'all. Make sure y'all leave a like. Make sure y'all hit that subscription button. Make sure y'all share this video if y'all enjoy this content. And I'm out.